Hello and thank you for joining us on the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Binga Oreshegun. Today on the program, ADC. Today on the program, ADC slams Babachir Lawal for predicting Atiku's defeat in 2027 presidential election. Says it lacks basis. INEC chairman says commission has no preferred candidate for 2027 elections. Declares full readiness for Osun governorship poll, extends PVC collection. And later on the show, Yilwata fires back at Peter Obi over resignation call, says President Tinubu not tired. Well, I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Utitoju, who joins us via Zoom, and Adeni Ifetayo. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin on a sad note by telling you that fate has struck again. As a former Minister of Finance and Saudanan Sokoto, Alhaji Abubakar Alhaji has passed away at the age of 87. Alhaji is a distinguished public servant who held several key positions in government. He served as Minister of State for Budget and Planning in 1988 before being appointed Minister of Finance from 1990 to 1991 during the military administration of former President Ibrahim Babangida. He left behind a legacy of dedication and national service. His death reminds us that titles may fade, but the legacy of service and the impact one leaves behind endure. All right, BKO, I'll start with you. BKO, tell us about the life and times of Alhaji Abubakar Alhaji. And also, why was he called Nigeria's longest-serving finance minister? BK, try and unmute. We can't hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, better now.
Benga.
Yes.
He is an exceptional bureaucrat. Okay. Properly trained. He read political economy at the University of Reading, United Kingdom, and had sufficient training from the World Bank, from the IMF. I would describe him as one of the quality second-generation Nigerian bureaucrats or leaders, as the case may be. People like Awolowo, Zik, Tafa Balewa, and Aminu Kano were the first generation. So these ones were the ones who stabilized our country and put things right after the Civil War. You know, he joined the civil service in 1964, but after the Civil War, he became incrementally prominent. And as I've described, as I've said in previous programs, 1970 to 1990 represent the golden Nigerian era, because a lot of the good things that happened to our country happened during that period, especially in the area of institutions that were built and even infrastructure. You know, it was during that era. Some of the biggest infrastructure projects in the history of our country happened during that period. So as a civil servant, he rose through the ranks and became a PAMSEC, and later became a Minister of State for Budget and National Planning. If I'm not mistaken, it could be the first or second person to hold that position. He served under the then Minister of State for Budget, Chuo Kongu. So his major achievement, in my view, is the liberalization of the banking sector.
Okay.
That was when they allowed private individuals to own banks in the country. And, that happened around 1988 to 1992. And significantly too, he is the first person to hold the title of Sardauna of Sokoto after the late Sir Ahmadu Bello was killed during Nigeria's first military coup. After he retired, he continued to play the role of advisor to Sokoto and Kebbi State. So all of those years that we didn't hear about him, he was actually helping his home state of Sokoto to come up with economic programs that can actually make the difference for them.
Okay.
So he was famously called the Triple A. That's Alhaji, Abubakar Alhaji, and he was very, very famous. He was one of the ideologues of the IBB regime because he was so respected because of his experience and all that. So I can only pray that God grants him eternal rest, Aljana, because he was a peace-loving man. His love for his country was never in doubt, and he would never hear him make inflammatory statements here and there.
Okay.
He was such a gentleman.
Now, Adeni, what lessons, can today's public servants learn from Abubakar Alhaji, the times in public service?
For someone who is selfless, who put the country first, like they said that ask not what your country can give you, but ask what you can give to your country. So Alhaji Abubakar, gave his time, gave everything he has learned, and also just to add to what BKO has said, he was very instrumental when it comes to Nigerian relationship, managing Nigerian relationship with external creditor, not someone who will sabotage or what can I get in return. And of course, if you remember too, during the I was part of the country member negotiating team for Lomen 2 agreement, which has to do with European Economic Community state and African, Pacific and Oceania, just to make sure that agricultural produce, whatever it is we are manufacturing, that's taken outside. So it's more beneficial, not just be taken from us alone, and countries losing so much.
So
yes, and so what I think public servants nowadays can learn from him, they should be selfless. They should put the country first, just like he did. And a general proverb that said, "A king that rules or that reigns, and people happy, they are happy, they rejoice, they will never forget him." And also the king that also ruled, and people murmur and they bear so much pain, they will never forget it. We are talking about his landmark, his imprint, what he has done today. What will people say about you after you leave your position? Just like your introduction say, title will fade away, but your name, the legacy you leave behind, they will continue to speak for you.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen, straight to our next conversation. Now, as the 2027